Hello everybody and welcome to the channel.
Predator's Mark. This is an amazing build for PvP. However, when it comes to PvE, the build just doesn't seem as strong. So I decided to play around with it a bit to see what I could come up with for those heroic and legendary missions. At first, I thought I might still be able to use the house the way you do in PvP, but the NPCs in legendary missions just hit way too hard for you to be in their face like you would in PvP. I tried using shotguns, the showstopper, and even the lightweight M4. I've played around with a lot of different weapons. I ran missions over and over and over again to figure out what would be the best weapon to use for this build, and I think I've come up with a combination. And playing around as I did, I found out a little trick you could use from a distance using the sniper rifle. Hitting a target 5 times with a sniper rifle and the rest with another weapon can still cause your pred bleed to hit for over a mil. I also went through quite a few different sniper rifles to see which was the best to use. At first, I figured using the hardest hitting sniper rifles would be the best choice, but really, they weren't. The classic M44 carbine only holds 5 rounds. And I don't know about you guys, but every time I use the M700 carbine, it feels like I'm wasting more rounds than I am using them. Every time my reticle's red and I pull the trigger, it seems that the M700 carbine almost always misses. And with the M44, it feels like you end up killing the enemies before you can activate the Predator Bleed. Which is fine if you're trying to kill a single enemy. But that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to utilize the shrapnel talent to spread your bleed to the other NPCs nearby. The 2 weapons we're going to be using are the Warlord Assault Rifle and the SRS A1 Sniper Rifle. I picked the Warlord for its Play Rough talent. When firing, damage is reduced by 20%. The damage is then applied when you're no longer firing. Add that with the predatory talent, and now you can face trade with those NPCs that would otherwise shoot you down. The damage from Play Rough is applied after a counter runs down under your skills. This allows the talent Predatory to counteract the Play Rough, provided you kill the NPC you're face trading with. This works very well against those shotgunners that rush up on you. Predatory regenerates 30% health over 20 seconds per target killed. The third talent we're going to have on this weapon is Destructive. This increases the armor destruction value of your weapon by 15%. I know exotics can be difficult to find sometimes when you keep getting a Pharaoh's oxygen mask or Colonel Bliss's holster. So, as an alternative to the Warlord, you could use the Caduceus, which is the weapon I first chose to use. However, after a lot of testing, I found the Warlord to be a better choice. I chose the Caduceus and the Warlord as those 2 weapons to test for their high damage output, not for their rate of fire. Because the higher the damage output, the higher your Predator's bleed is going to be. Our second weapon is going to be the SRS A1 Sniper Rifle. I picked this weapon because it has a lower damage than the other sniper rifles, but it hits for a higher bleed. It doesn't deal too much damage, which could cause you to kill the NPCs before you could activate the Predator Bleed, and the damage output isn't so low that it doesn't make a difference. However, using a sniper rifle with the Predator's Mark build is a little tricky sometimes, because just when you're about to get a bleed on one of the NPCs, there's always another NPC that tries to jump in front of your target to try and reset the bleed stack that you've accumulated. Or the NPC that you're shooting at runs away and hides behind something, leaving you no choice but to pick another target. Now, the most important thing you want to remember with the Predator's Mark build is to choose Shrapnel from your talents. This will allow you to spread the bleed that you apply to an enemy to surrounding enemies. Now I'm sure you've noticed, unlike the Predator's Mark PvP build, we will not be running a pulse. Instead, we'll be running a life support station and a defibrillator. Running a pulse will not help the team as much as a defibrillator will. Never was there a time I was playing this game and I thought to myself, man, I sure wish I had that pulse. It would have kept me and the team from being killed. Now, you're always going to run into those players who try to rush in and get instantly downed, and the pulse isn't going to help you get them back up. With this build, you're not going to need the pulse. It puts out enough damage. You're definitely going to hit these NPCs hard, especially on those heroic missions. I ran Falcon's Lost, Clear Sky, and Stolen Signal with ease using this build. I put this build together with group play in mind. However, there are some downfalls to playing Predator's Mark in a group, especially with a group you're not familiar with, because you can run into a player using seeker mines or sticky bombs. This is especially true for the tactician build. The sticky bomb and the seeker mine apply a bleed to the enemies. This will interrupt your bleed counter. This can become especially annoying if the tactician gets their skills back very fast. Okay, let's get into the build. We're going to be running a Warlord with Predatory, Destructive, and Play Rough. We're going to have an extended mag on it with 3% crit hit chance, 4% crit hit damage, a C79 scope with 17% crit hit damage, and 2.5% crit hit chance. We're going to be running a large vent break with 18% crit hit damage, 3% crit hit chance, a small grip with 18% crit hit damage. For our sniper rifle, we're going to be running a SRS A1 with Vicious, Deadly, and Destructive. Now instead of an extended magazine, we're going to try and put as much crit hit chance into this rifle as we can. So we're going to be running a high velocity magazine with 7% crit hit chance. Again, we're going to be running a C79 scope with 18% crit hit damage, a large suppressor with 18% crit hit damage and 3% crit hit chance, a small grip with 18% crit hit damage. For our handgun, we're going to be running a tactical M1 911 with Determined and Cool-Headed. You can put whatever mods on it you want. We're running this so that if our signature skill is used, we can get it back as fast as possible. For our chest piece, we're going to be running it with Stamina, with enemy armor damage, skill haste, and ammo capacity. We're going to have 2 stamina mods with crit hit chance. For our mask, we're going to be also putting it into stamina with crit hit chance and damage to elites. For our mod, it's going to be a stamina with crit hit chance. Our knee pad is also going to be spec'd into stamina with crit hit damage, damage to elites, shock resistance, and bleed resistance. For our mods, we're going to have a stamina mod with 1% crit hit chance, and we're going to be running a support station range mod. For our backpack, we're also going to be spec'd into stamina with health and ammo capacity. For our mods, we're going to have a stamina mod with skill power, 2 support station healing speed mods. For our gloves, we're going to be spec'd into firearms with crit hit chance, marksman rifle damage, and crit hit damage. For our holster, we're going to be running crit hit chance, and for our mod, support station range. For my Warlord, I'm going to have 26.5% crit hit chance and 108% crit hit damage. Our headshot damage is going to be 82%. We're going to have 28% damage to elites, 45% enemy armor damage, 33% bleed resistance, 33% shock resistance. For our SRS A1, we're going to have 41% crit hit chance, and 124% crit hit damage. Our headshot damage is going to be 177%. We're going to have 16% assault rifle damage and 12% marksman rifle damage. For our skills, as I said before, we're going to be running a defibrillator, a support station, and for our talents, we're going to be running critical save, shrapnel, strike back, and combat medic. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, please hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all my new videos. Take it easy and have a nice day.